Welcome to the Love and Sex Today show with Dr. Doug Weiss. Doug has been healing hearts and relationships for decades. He's helped thousands of people release the shame and the guilt, restoring hope, helping people get free from addictions to enjoy a better sex and love life. Here he is, your host, Dr. Doug Weiss.
Welcome to Love and Sex Today. I am Dr. Doug Weiss, and I am going to be your host. We are going to have a conversation today. This is our 16th conversation, and I love chatting with you, so I know you know that. But today is going to be an interesting topic. Today is going to be 6 types of cheaters. This is taken out of my book, Addicted to Adultery, The Other Reasons Spouses Cheat. This, if you know someone who has experienced being cheated on, you want to get this to them because this is going to help them maybe understand. Or if you know someone who is the cheater, this may help them to understand what in the world they were thinking and why these behaviors are in their life. Well, as always, I want you to go to loveandsextoday.com. Subscribe there. Write a review for us on iTunes. That helps us help others. And one of you will be selected for a priceless conversation with yours truly. And we'll be able to maybe address something in your life that you'd like to chat about and accelerate that area of your life. Also, get a free chapter on our webpage, loveandsextoday.com. We love hearing from you. Send us emails, give us comments. All of that's wonderful. Well, let's get into the topic today. 6 types of cheaters. Now, let me first of all tell you how this came about. See, I sit in the laboratory every single week. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to have couples open up their hearts and talk through the betrayals and the cheating and the things that have happened. And that's going on in my life for 30 years. Now, when you sit in a laboratory, it doesn't matter what's going on. You sit there long enough, you begin to put things together in different ways than you've ever heard before or seen before, because you get to see so much of the same thing again and again. And yet there's nuances, there's differences. And it's like these stories aren't exactly the same. This group of people kind of operate this way. This kind of group of people operate this way. So as I've been listening to all of these people cheat for thousands of times over 30 years, begin to really put something together. And I call this the 6 types of cheaters because it really makes a difference on how this person thinks about the process of cheating. And so I want to walk through this with you. And if you are the cheater, this might help you. So get a handle on how you actually think and put some language to the way that you go about the business of cheating. And if you are the person who's been cheated upon, it may make sense for you to maybe understand a little bit about the mindset, although cheating will never make sense to you, maybe the mindset of a cheater. So the number one, and these aren't in any particular order, these are just the order that they're in the book. The first one is the hunter. This person is looking for a specific type of person to hunt, to pursue. Now, I'm going to go to the male-female versions because this is in one case where the gender is hugely different in the way that they hunt. There are exceptions to this, but generally, the male hunter is looking for a weak woman, a needy woman, a vulnerable woman, either financially vulnerable, maybe she's trying to raise kids by herself, maybe she's socially disadvantaged in some way, maybe doesn't have an education to be able to make enough income to support herself, etc. But she usually has some vulnerability, even if it's just low self-esteem. She might be a millionaire, but not think well of herself or not think she's attractive. But this man is, and I tell this man, usually this guy's, somewhat successful, at least for his own ego. And, he thinks he's a lion, go hunting lions. He's not a lion hunting lion. He's a lion hunting dead birds, wounded birds, birds that can't fly. And so it really does help him to have a better paradigm for that. But the specific target there. Now, women, though, who are hunter cheaters, they tend to hunt specifically for men that are better in some way, either extremely physically fit, extremely successful, have a high place in their spiritual community, their social community, their neighborhood, or they tend to hunt up. And so that generally is what can happen with the female hunter. And so their targets are very kind of identified. They don't necessarily care what the person looks like as long as they kind of fit into this category. There might be some boundaries there, but they generally have a target on their victims. The next one is the hero, nice person cheater. This is the person who cares. This is a person, if they're a man, they want to help you with your car, help you with your house, help you with your kids, help you with your projects at work. They think you're amazing and wonderful and smart. Or this is the woman who thinks you're just a wonderful guy. You're such a nice person. They want to help you with your projects. They want to, maybe cook you a little biscuits or muffins or pies, or they're, constantly touching you, and, they're just nice. And they groom their victims through that. And they leave their victims the same way because they're nice. They have to work on their marriage if they can, but thanks for the sex. And so they tend to play that nice hero, heroine role in your life, and they're there to help you. And as they help you, then they use you sexually. The next one is exactly the opposite. This is the hurt, wounded hunter type person. Now, this sounds kind of strange, but basically, they're that guy in the bar who's so lonely, they need someone to help them. They're that woman who is so desperate and in pain, who just needs someone to love her, to take care of her. And what they do is they attract by vortex, kind of like a black hole. They kind of bring people into their lives to help them, to support them, to give them emotional aid or comfort, or help them get through an addiction, or help them get through a divorce, or help them get through some financial crisis or emotional crisis. And in the process, they're actually grooming you for a sexual encounter. And they're bringing you in to help. And then they cheat with you and they move on. But this is it's just a different style. And it was really an odd one for me, but it's real. It's legit. You can go to any bar, and this hurt, wounded person, they're the person over there to the left alone. And they're waiting for someone to come talk to them. And if you talk to them, they start telling you their sad story. And if you buy into it, you're going to be moving into helping and being used while you're helping them. The next cheater is a fetish cheater. A fetish is a desire for a very specific sexual behavior, whether that's bondage or spanking or a certain cross-dressing with somebody or some kind of fetish issue. And there's thousands of those. So it could be anything. But that person is really looking for a companion in the fetish realm. Again, it doesn't matter what the person looks like, their belief system, as long as they think that this fetish is the coolest thing on earth, that is great. So they're looking for someone to cheat with inside of a fetish paradigm. And so that is a very limited type of cheater, but it's very specific. Okay. And they kind of have little groups that they find that, people who enjoy this particular fetish, and they go online and they hook up that way usually and stuff like that. But this person is looking to act out a fetish, and they're wanting someone to act that out with or to. And that's the fetish cheater. The next one is the opportunist. This is number 5 of 6. This is the opportunist cheater. This person is just looking for someone who's willing. Doesn't matter what size, what color, what body type, what age. If the person gives them some kind of sexual energy or that wink or that kind of, hey, I think you're cute or hot, or I'm willing, maybe I'm needy, but I'm willing, this person's going to take them up on this. And so this person might have 50 people, but there's absolutely nothing in common. One works at Burger King. One's the vice president of the bank. One is 6 foot tall. One's 4'5". One is grossly overly athletic. One is overly unathletic. They range in color and size. And if you took the pictures, there'd be nothing in common except that they're willing. And this person pretty much is kind of on the hunt all the time, but they're not hunting for anyone particularly. They're hunting for anyone particularly. They can go to a fast food place, a Walmart, or they can go to a high-end bar. It doesn't really matter. As long as someone is there willing, they will take that as a opportunity. And so the opportunist cheater, they generally rack up a lot more numbers than some of the other people because there is no specific target. And anyone, they could pick up a hitchhiker and be just as happy with that as they are if they have to work someone for months to get them to act out. So it is the opportunist cheater. The last one is the professional cheater. And this one, they don't cheat for a living, but what they do is they are the professional cheater. They only want to hire prostitutes or escorts, male or female, to act out with. They really, sometimes this involves them wanting a particular thing, but often, as they've shared their stories with me, it really has to do with maintaining secrecy. In some weird way, they want to protect their real world. They don't want their kids and their wife or their husband to know what they're doing. And so, what they believe they're paying for, which isn't always true, is the confidentiality of their behavior. And they believe that if they're paying for that, sometimes it absolves them of some kind of guilt because the person was willing. It absolves them of hurting because they don't really love this person and it's just sex. And that's the way they rationalize it in their mind and in their heart. And so for them, the professional cheater is someone who will use a professional service out of town, in town, or maybe have one particular prostitute they work with on an ongoing basis. And this is rationalized as different for them. And so I mean, I've had people say, well, it's not really cheating if I paid for it. I'm like, no, it still is cheating, even if you pay for it. Your wife over there who's bleeding still thinks she's been betrayed. And just because you didn't care about the person, that says something about you, but it doesn't say anything different about the kind of betrayal that your wife over there is feeling. And so these are the 6 types of cheaters. And some people cheat because they have a sexual addiction. If you have a sexual addiction, you definitely want to address that. You can go to our website. There's lots of books on sexual addiction. Addicted to Adultery is a great read. If you're the person who's been cheated on, there's a DVD called Calming the Storm of Anger. There's one, Now That I Know, What Should I Do? And if you are the person who has done the cheating, you might do well on a DVD called Helping Her Heal. If you're a man, this would be really, really helpful to understand what cheating does to the person and what you can do to help in the process of them restoring their relationship with you. So cheating is a real deal. It's happening in epidemic numbers. The internet has made things so much easier. And so a lot more people are vulnerable to cheating than ever before because the opportunity and the illusion of secrecy. So you want to be careful out there. You want to protect the people you really do love, and you want to have great love and sex. You really want to protect that primary relationship you're in. And so be careful on your social media. Be careful on other things like that. I'm Dr. Doug Weiss, and I want you to go to loveandsextoday.com, subscribe there, review us on iTunes, let people know how wonderful of a time you're having with us, and we're having a wonderful time with you. And one of you will be selected for that priceless conversation with yours truly. And we'll be able to have a fun time accelerating some area of your life. Also get that free chapter on our webpage, Love and Sex Today. And as always, have great love.
That's it for our episode of Love and Sex Today with Dr. Doug Weiss. Head on over to loveandsextoday.com and be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes. When you do, and you post a review on iTunes, some lucky listener is going to win every single month a private confidential coaching call with Dr. Doug Weiss. Also, feel free to ask any question you like. You can push a button, speak your question, and Dr. Doug will answer your question in a future episode. So be sure to subscribe to the show. Doug's got some great gifts for you, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.